Sim, welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much.
What are we doing with your hair today?
So, probably going to keep the length. I'm liking how long it's getting now, but I want to shape up the back and sides, so mid-skin fade.
Yep.
And maybe just taper down into the beard.
Yep.
Yeah, nothing too extreme.
And we're going to line up the front.
Please.
Yeah. And off the top, you said you're liking the length. Did you want to trim anything off that?
No, keep it as it is.
We keep it exactly the same.
Yeah.
But maybe just tuck these sides in just so it's more square rather than that sort of mushroom shape.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. And obviously starting at the skin, and I'll fade up to it too, and let's do it.
Sounds good.
Let's go.
Let's go.
So I'm going to start by just picking out his hair. Sim's obviously got Afro hair, so making sure to pick all of the hair out in along all of the head is important to being able to cut it, because you're gonna, if you don't pick it out, then the curls, they curl a lot tighter in some areas than they do in others. And then when you cut it, if you did pull all of those hairs out, you would get a very, very uneven length between the two different areas. I'm going to focus on the areas that I'm going to be cutting. Sim is going to be leaving the top. So for now, I'm not going to pick it out because I'm not going to have to cut it. But I want to make sure I pick out all of the sides. You can see I sort of like insert the comb in and then flick out. So I've got a 3 guard. The main difference between cutting Afro hair and Caucasian hair is the fact that because it's so curly, we have to come at it in every direction, because curls are coming up like this and they're coming down like this. So if we don't attack it from every direction, we're not going to get an even length across the head. So you can see here, his head is protruding right there. So I'm going to continue straight up, just in the line with that comb. So look, I'm not going to scoop out, I'm just going to continue. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Now I'm just going to pick it out again. So a big point for this is you need to continually pick it out, because as you keep touching the hair and moving the hair around, it is going to retract back in, and it's constantly going to do that. And also, when you pick it out, you're not actually going to be able to pick out every single curl. And then on the next time you pick it out, you might pick out a curl that you didn't pick out on the last time. And that just ensures that you're going to get it even. Because I've seen it so many times in the barbershop where, you know, a barber's gone and picked it out once, cut this beautiful flat top, and I've done it myself. They've cut a beautiful flat top, and then they haven't picked it out again, and then they've let the client walk out. And what will happen is, you might get a curl. So watch when I pick this out again. So see this hair right here, that wasn't sticking out before. And if I didn't pick that back out and I left that curl, then when the client goes home, washes his hair, that's going to be the curl that sticks out from the rest. So we can see the initial shapes put in. This was just so I can put my fade in. So we're obviously going to do a mid fade, so we're going to land somewhere around there. We're going to try and keep the weight that's there and obviously leave all this. Okay, so I need to choose my the point of the fade. Now, we've got a couple of points to choose from when we're doing a fade. So we obviously have our low fade, which sits around our temple area. We have our mid fade, which sits around our low recession, and anything higher than that is going to turn into a high fade. Our low fade is going to tend to have more of a curve, our mid fade is going to follow the head shape, and our high fade can be more of a straight line around. We're not paying as much of attention to the head shape there. We do want to pay attention to the haircut that we're doing, so we can see we're high here and then it sort of drops with the head shape. So I'm going to match that with my fade guideline. So I'm just using this finger to put it down, put his ear down, and this finger as my anchor point. So an anchor point, it's a point that is in contact with the head. See, I've got it right there. While I'm using my trimmer or my clipper to ensure that once again, I'm limiting that mobility, because if Sim moves his head now, see, my hand moves with him because I'm connected to him. When if he was here and he moved closer to me, I'm gonna risk putting that line in his head. When if my hand's here and he moves, the trimmer moves with him. So I'm always looking to mitigate risk when haircutting, because especially when you're in a salon or barbershop environment, you know, there's a lot of things going on and a lot of things that can go wrong. When you're cutting in a private studio, of course, it's going to be a more relaxed environment and there's less room for error. But you know, everyone knows how it gets in a barbershop, so we want to make sure that we're mitigating that risk at all costs. And that's just one easy way that you can. Now, one of the most important tools inside your shop is going to be a mirror. I've got a mirror just to the left of me, so I'm going to just have a look at that balance from all angles. I've obviously used reference points on the head, which is definitely going to assist me, but it's still important to check your balance. So you'll see I'm dabbing a little bit here, and all I'm doing there, I'm coming down on the top of the line, and that allows me to go up, because essentially what it does, it just thins the hair out a little bit. It makes it a tiny bit shorter without making it as short as when you go against the grain. Okay, now we can begin our fade. We're gonna do it in panels. I'm gonna do this side, the back, and the other side. I like to work in smaller areas, and then inside those areas, I like to work in zones. So sometimes I might be attacking one area, one zone inside an area where I can focus to get that done before I move on to the next. Otherwise, especially if you're beginning, it can get quite overwhelming. So if you are just starting out, I would make sure you're just not working in too big of areas, because you're going to get overwhelmed with changing guards too many times. So we just want to make sure that we're focusing on one area so we can make sure to maximize that area. So all I'm doing here is putting my 1.5, which is an open guard. So I have my 1.5 guard, and I've opened that up, and that's going to go straight in. So this is closed, gone open. That's going to go straight into my number 3 guard closed. Now I'm going to grab my trimmer, which is my 00, and I'm just going to knock that bottom line. Now, our fade's about 60 to 70% done, and that didn't take too long. Now I'm going to work back through the guards. Start with my 1 open, 1 closed, I'm making sure to use the corners of my blade. Corners of your blade are very, very important to get into those dark spots. This is my 1.5 guard, which is the guard that I started after my number 3. Just attacking that top area of that fade. Okay, now I'm going to move on to the other side. I'm going to use the same steps. So just using those same steps. Starting with my 1.5 guard open. Making sure to come at both directions. dropping down to my one guard, going just below that. Like I said, now the fade's about 60% done, so now we've just got to start back at the top and refine. Okay, now I'm going to pick it out again, because you get these little curls in here that I want to make sure that I've really picked out. After doing the fade, you can actually see how much we need to take off. You can see these hairs here. Everything from this point right here, we want to continue straight up. So when we comb that out, anything that sticks out further than this point needs to come off, because we want it square. You can continue that all the way around the head. Just using this small comb to be able to pick those individual curls out again. But this time I'm just using my clipper. I like to use this angle, use the meat of my hand to put against his head, and then run this straight down here and use his head shape as a guide. Because the clipper's in my hand, it's not moving any further away, so that's going to be a consistent length, and as long as my hand is against a straight shape, which is his head shape, I'm going to get a consistent line. Yeah? I'm going to start with my high recession, my low recession to high recession through here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pick a point here, and I'm going to angle it away from the face straight up to there, so you can see that's my line. Whatever comes off up here comes off, because my line starts here. So you might notice that I started with the corners, and this I would recommend for more experienced stylists. If you are someone who's not as experienced, or even an experienced stylist but having trouble getting symmetry, start with using the middle, or start with using the side that is further back. Because if you start with the side further back and you keep it as far forward as you can, then you won't have to take the other side as far back. When if you take the other side back, then you won't be able to match it up to the side that's not as far forward. Just gonna blend his beard in. I'm not looking to take it low.